Hello, this is Becca from Willow Hill Designs. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is doing well, and today I'm sharing the fabrics that I have chosen to stitch on to the trifold pouch for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery Volume 5. I showed the fabrics that I was considering in my last video, and these are the ones that I have chosen. And I've stitched them to the wool felt base, and this is what it looks like when it's opened out. And here it is closed up, folded. And so I'll just give you a little close-up of how I stitched this. And I used 2 charm squares here, and I cut away most of the charm square, the red charm square. It's kind of a brick red or a deep red. I cut away most of that so that it's just a V under the blue. But the blue I kept intact. I kept the whole charm square for the blue and overlapped that onto the back. But going back to the front, I used some of that decorator weight fabric, which was the kind of a robin's egg blue with roses and flowers on it. And I chose the leaf decorator weight fabric to put here and left the selvage edge with the fringe along this edge. And I chose to use some of this red fabric to tie in with this red and the red in this blue. And then when you open it up, I put some gold over here and an ivory with ivory petunias and red petunias decorator weight fabric. And this was the selvage that was on this fabric, and I decided to just use that. I just liked it, collection exclusively, and I think it was for Marcus Fabrics, but I didn't want it that long, so I just cut that portion off. And I used some fabric with writing on it here. And then this is that blue deck fabric that is also here on the top. And it's here, and it runs around to the back as well. And I also used some more of that red to tie in with this red here. Some more of the fabric with handwriting on it, and then this fabric and this fabric are the same. Just kind of trying to tie in the colors and what it would look like from the front, with this kind of ivory and the ivory here, and this blue being the same. And then for the back of the bag, we've got the blue square that comes around to the back. I put some more of that same red with that deep red background and some more of the gold, which ties into the gold on the front. And this was a piece of stamped muslin with some French words on it, French writing, and I loved that. I thought that was very pretty. This is again that blue that wraps around to the front, and this is that ivory home deck fabric that wraps around to the front. So that is my little bag so far, and I really love this. It makes me think of something French. So I've decided on a few laces that I may use on this. This is one of them that I love, and I think this is very pretty. This may go over here on this ivory. I like that very much. I also have this one, which I think is really a beautiful, beautiful lace. And I had thought of maybe putting this here. I don't know, although I don't like covering all that up, but that's a thought. I may put that there. But this is, I think, a crocheted lace with another lace added to it, and it's absolutely beautiful. These laces are from Indigo and Rose. in South Africa, and she has beautiful, beautiful laces. I have some little pieces that I'm thinking of maybe using there, not sure. And I also have some seam binding that is a crinkled seam binding, and I'm thinking of possibly ruching some along this edge here. So I don't know, that might be something pretty that I may add there, and then something here, a button or some kind of a little brooch, something like that. That's a thought that I had. I also have this lace, which is very pretty, and this may go on the back. I'm not sure. This could go back here somewhere. Probably hard to see with that, but I may put some of that back here. I love this little lace right here. I think this is beautiful. This is also from Indigo and Rose. And I was thinking of taking maybe this motif here and using that on this blue. Probably hard to tell with all that veiling there, but maybe I may put something like that on the blue. I do love that. And these little, I think these may be hand crocheted also, pieces could go here, one here, and maybe a portion of one over here. Maybe that little kind of a corner may look pretty there. I don't know. I have this little tiny lace, which is very, very beautiful. I don't know. I'm thinking about that. And I also have some of this lace, which I love. And I had thought of using maybe some of this cascading down on this blue. Kind of hard to tell. Again with the, or this piece right here, this portion, maybe here, I don't know. So those are kind of some of the embellishments that I'm thinking of using on here. And so I will come back when I have stitched some embellishments on here and show you how it's coming along. And also, I haven't forgotten about the little gift giveaway that I'd like to do for 2,000 subscribers. I'm working on putting something together, and I'll try to have a little more information on that at the end of the video. So I will leave for now and do some stitching on this, and I'll come back when I have some more done. So thanks for joining me today, and I'll be back in a bit. Well, I'm back with a little bit more done on my pouch. I've started to sew some lace on, and well, let's see. I'll give you a close-up of that. And I still have some pinned back here, but this will be added to the back. And I've ruched some seam binding, some crinkled seam binding on there, and I used this seam binding and just pinned it where I would like it on there, and I just followed the edge of the blue here along the red, and I went all the way around the back with that. So that's that. And then I put some lace on top of these portions, which was, oh, you can't see it, but it was kind of a heavier deck weight fabric with embossed sort of leaves on it. And this is the lace I used on that. I have little bits of this left. I love this lace. This is beautiful. And that is put along these edges here. And then for this lace, which also carries down into here, and I may add some 12 weight pearl cotton to just sort of accentuate this lace a little bit. It's such a beautiful lace, but it's very subtle when it's against this other lace back here. This is a little bit darker, this piece, so you see it a bit more, but here's that lace, and this lace is stitched here, and just kind of a tiny bit in the back right here. And that lace is this one. These are all from South Africa, from Indigo Rose, and I love this lace. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's very expensive, but it's well worth it. So there's still lots that I can use from this, but these pieces are what is this darker lace on here. This lighter lace, this comes from this piece of lace. I can still do something with this heavier portion, but I liked this very feathery light, these light bits here, so I've been using it, and this is all I have, maybe 12 inches or so of that, but I've been using that part here on this, and I love the way that looks. And I've been trying to cut away the netting so that the red flowers still show. They're not muted by the netting underneath. I'll probably take this netting out here, but they kind of flow over onto the front, these laces, and I think they're just beautiful. They kind of add an interesting touch to it. So this is and I had turned the edges under on this edge for when we line this, but this is what it looks like so far. And I've got some beads out. I'll be adding more lace down here. I'm really running behind on this, so I thought I'd catch up a little bit quickly. I bought some silk ribbon, 4mm, that I'm thinking of using on this. These are from the Thread Gatherer, and I thought that might be pretty on here as well. And of course some green. These are all such beautiful colors, and they're hand dyed, so there's variation in modeling in the colors. So I'll be adding those as well. And I may add this. I love this lace too. I may be adding a little tiny piece of this right at the front point here. I may add a little piece of that right there. I don't want to take away from this fringe. I love the fringe. So I may add a little piece there. And I don't know, I may do a magnetic closure on this, or no closure at all. I may just leave it. I don't know. It would be nice even to sew something to the back to weight this down. I don't know. I haven't pressed it, so it may not need much closure. I don't know what I'll put in this. Maybe ribbons or some special threads. But anyway, so that's where I am so far, and I'll be back. This is a continuing saga here. I will be back when I have done some more on this. So see you in a minute for you, or a few seconds for you, and probably hours for me. I have a bit more done on the pouch, and as you can see here, I've chosen the lining fabric and cut that to fit the pouch. And what I did there was I just made this piece about 1 inch longer on each edge, and also on the ends. I left a little bit more than 1 inch on the ends, so that this can just be rolled over the edge, rather than just cutting the lining the same size as the pouch and then having to make a binding or stitch a number of different pieces of fabric, I decided that I liked this look of this fabric blending in with the blue. And so I will continue to, I'll stitch this down invisibly. What I did here on the top, where the pouch closes, this is the top portion, I just turned this edge under, and I did a running stitch here, along here, to secure those edges. I had added a little piece of a napkin, cloth napkin, and let that overhang, and so I just met the edge of the lining fabric with the edge of the pouch, and there is some fringe on the edge of the pouch, but I left the fringe free and just stitched right up to that edge where the fringe begins. So that's all secured there. And I also put my little pocket on first. I know it's very neat, and I did the thing where you fold the fabric in half and, you know, turn it inside out, stitch it, and then turn it right side out, just because I wanted something finished on the inside. I didn't want it to be, you know, just a little edge turned under or a raw edge up here. I know I have sort of a neatness problem, and I probably need to go to a 12-step program for that, but I can't help that. But so my pocket is already added, and then I just did an invisible stitch all the way around, and a scissors could fit in here. I don't know what I'm going to put in this pouch, but and I did add a little piece of stamped muslin that I had done right up here to the top on the inside. But I will come back in a few minutes when I have this all sewn, when this is all pinned and sewn. I'll just do an invisible stitch all the way around the outside of this, and I will come back. I think that will finish it, and I will come back and I'll show more of the details on the pouch. So I'll be back in a bit. Well, my little pouch is finished, finally all sewed together. And when I showed you a little while ago the lining that was wrapped around to the front, that's all been sewn down. Lining was all wrapped around to the front, so that gives the binding, or bound the edges, the raw edges together, and stitched that, and just made a little mitered edge up here, and then stitched the sides together. These sides are, and I put the stitches close together so that nothing will fall out, hopefully, of this little pouch. I didn't put a closure on the pouch. I was going to do a magnetic closure, and I didn't, because I don't think I'll be putting anything bulky in here. Maybe some threads, maybe just putting it on the shelf to look at, because I love it. But I'll just show you a close-up. There's layers of lace on here. This is kind of a crocheted lace under here, and then on top of that I added more lace. These little flowers with the leaves, they come from a larger piece of lace. This is the same lace here, and then I layered lace on top of this crocheted lace over here, and did the same kind of a treatment with pearl cotton. Just added a little tiny bit of embellishing just to sort of make those flowers stand out, because they're very similar in color to the lace behind them that they're applied to. And I just love the way that looks. And on top of the ruched seam binding here, I just added some beads that I had in my little bead box. I have these beads in different colors, and they have a matte finish, and I like that. I wanted it to just kind of look vintagey and nothing too shiny. Although I did intersperse a few, but these beads have kind of a little crackled look to them. with some brown lines, and I like that. I thought they looked vintagey. And added some other little clearish kind of beads with a sort of a pink hue to them, and this is kind of a coppery look. Just added those on top of that ruched seam binding. And I stitched also up here on the leaves of these flowers, this background fabric with a pearl cotton in a green, and just did some lazy daisy stitches to sort of emphasize the leaves there and add texture to that. I added these little flowers in the lace have centers that are French knots made of silk ribbon over here too. And these centers, these French knots, are sort of deep, kind of a brownish red, a very deep, beautiful looking hand-dyed ribbon that I used on that. Added a button here in this portion of the lace flower, and this is a tilde button, and then I added another button on top of that to tie in the this red fabric here. And along this edge of this lace that's on here, there was some open work like this, and I just wove that 4mm ribbon through that just to give it sort of a little something extra. And then under the top part of the pouch, I layered, stitching to the back, a piece of a napkin, a cloth linen napkin, and this beautiful lace, which I love, this vintage lace, a layer of that, and then this little dangle. I don't know where I got this, but I love it. I just think it's so pretty. And it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of goes, it's kind of in the same hues with everything. And they were all layered to the top of the pouch, and then the lining was put over those. So they're all sandwiched in there with the lining. And let's see, and under here, of course, I added this little piece of stamped muslin that I had done. And I added a little mouse here from the Brambly Hedge Mice. I thought she was so cute. And I just did a running straight stitch to attach her. I did a little bit of borrow stitching here across this sort of yellowish gold patch. Added some lace here and some little snippets of lace here and here. And another motif that I cut out of that lace that's on the front, and put buttons in the centers of those. This little heart that was part of a string of hearts on some lace, and I just dyed that with some coffee a little bit, just to make it look more vintagey, and added more just little snippets of lace out of that one piece that I have. Some over here, and I did a silk ribbon flower here, and this is a very pretty ribbon. This is hand dyed, kind of a variegated and just very pretty, and then a silk ribbon French knot in the center. And was there one of those on the front? No, I think it was just that. And then on the back, I continued the beading, this beading and some copper beads, along with these translucent little kind of a pinkish color bead on here. More snippets of lace and adding a button, just little pieces that were almost falling apart that I took out of that vintage lace. Here's some more of those hearts that I dyed, and just stitched these randomly on here. Here's another silk flower, a flower with silk ribbon, that same variegated silk ribbon. This is from the Thread Gatherer, very pretty ribbon. Another piece of that lace, some more lace here, and a little snippet here. little tiny snippet down here of that same lace, and then another flower motif up here, and some more here. I noticed I didn't do the pearl cotton embellishment on that. I think I can still do that. And this white lace that I added here, I almost added some French knots to these little center circles. I thought that might be interesting to make those look like berries, but it really took away from the lace. That lace is so pretty, it really didn't need it. So I just left that white in here, and I think that's it. Yes, I think that's it. So this is my little pouch with no closure right now. I can always add a magnetic closure, I think, if I'd like to, if I need it. But I love this. I just think it's so pretty. And I will be putting it on my shelf to look at. I don't know if I'll put anything in it just yet. As I said, maybe some threads, maybe some very special threads, or some vintage little needle books, something like that. But so thank you very much for joining me. Just give you another little close-up of it. This was really a fun project. I don't think I've ever done a project like this, a pouch that was just entirely hand-stitched. But I do love it. And I will use it for something, if only to look at and to decorate with. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'm wishing you many blessings. Bye for now. I wanted to add that I mentioned I would be talking about the gift giveaway for reaching 2,000 subscribers. I mentioned it earlier in this video, and this video has turned out to be longer than I thought. So I will do that in a separate video. I thank all of the people that have subscribed to me. It's been really a nice surprise. And I thank everyone for the very, very nice comments that have been left, encouraging ones and complimentary ones. Just such sweet sentiments shared with me, and I enjoy it so much, and I thank you. So I've been putting together a little gift, and I will share in another video about that. I'm sorry, this one ran a bit longer than I expected. So thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye for now.